Amit sir, am I clearly audible?
Yes, yes, Smita ma'am. And I think Ragasudha ma'am is on mute, so I think we are unable to hear
Okay.
her.
Namaste Raga Sudhaji ma'am. Namaste and welcome ma'am. Principal ma'am, should we start or should we wait for 2-3 minutes more?
It is 2:57. We should start at the right time, that is 3 o'clock. We can
Okay ma'am, fine.
we can replay this video again, Amit sir, till then. And
Yes.
by then, ma'am also, the speaker, Ms. Radha would also be ready. We will begin sharp at 3, and we extend everyone who has joined in early.
Namaste
Okay ma'am.
and welcome to Aadhar Shila Talks at RRIS. Aadhar Shila is a platform for intellectuals converging from diverse spheres of knowledge to share novel, deep, and insightful ideas of intellect that fuel thought, conversation, and action of the minds of our audience. We believe in fostering ideas that are both highly relevant and radically different to enrich the minds of our audiences. Joining us on this platform from across the country and the world, we strive to bring you the most accomplished and inspiring speakers that ignite invaluable knowledge sparks to spread the light of continuous learning and development among educators, teachers, administrators, students, and parents. RRIS is delighted to host you on this delightful journey by facilitating this platform as our way of giving back to the community and stakeholders that keep us motivated. And of all things, we expect just one thing from you to share this light of knowledge with your friends, family, peers, and your network. To invite them to register for these sessions or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ram Ratna International School Official. Thank you for joining in today, and we look forward for an inspiring session. Onwards we go, forward we march. Best wishes from Ram Ratna International School.
Namaste. Namaste everyone. Amit sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, so we'll start with our session, Aadhar Sheila Talks, and I extend a very warm welcome to all the participants here. Very good afternoon and namaste to our beloved principal ma'am, Dr. Jaya Parekh, and the speaker of the day, Ms. Raga Sudha, and to all the educators and participants who are present here. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. So let me officially start with the session. So I would first take this honor opportunity to introduce the speaker of the day. I start today's session with this soul-stirring quote by Sri Rabindranath Ji Tagore. In art, man reveals himself and not his objects. The arts are an essential element of education, just like reading, writing, and arithmetic. Music, dance, painting, and theatre are all keys that unlock profound human understanding and accomplishment. Dance is one such important form of art. It teaches the importance of movement and fitness in a variety of ways through a variety of disciplines. And for me personally, dance is one of the stress busters I can think of. Hence, it is extremely important to have various art forms like dance to be embedded in the school curriculum and focus on STEAM rather than STEM education only. We have a wonderful personality amongst us today who is going to enrich us with various dance forms and how it can be embedded in the school curriculum. So let us all officially welcome Ms. Raga Sudha Vinjamuri. Namaste, Radha Sudha ma'am, and a very warm welcome to you. So, Ms. Raga Sudha Vinjamuri is the Associate Lecturer at the University of Sunderland in London. She teaches undergraduate and graduate course modules in tourism and hospitality and business discipline. Ms. Ragasudha is an educator by profession, a passionate dancer, and the flag bearer of Indian culture by emotion. She comes from a family of art patrons and naturally leads art exploration and propagation of Indian classical and tribal arts and culture in the UK and globally. Ms. Ragasudha is a trained dancer and has applied dance as an initiative for several social causes. She has the distinction of representing Britain as cultural coordinator and of being a performer at the United Nations Convention on Biodiversity COP11. Ms. Raga Sudha ma'am, we are really very proud of you and it's really an honor to have you at Aadhar Sheela Talks at RRIS. It is our privilege to hear you talking us today on this one of the important topics. Before we begin with the session, I would request our principal, Dr. Jaya Parekh, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Dr. Smita. Namaste and good afternoon and welcome to Ms. Ragasudha ji, the host for the day, and the host of participants who have joined us from not only Ramratna International School, but across the length and breadth of India. Ma'am, it's an honor for the school to have a personality like you, who is making India proud, who carries the flag of India everywhere in the form of the talent that you possess, the passion that you possess. It's truly a commendable act, I would say, on behalf of Mr. Amit, to connect us with you and to convince you to be a part of Aadhar Sheela. You were very kind. You accepted our invite. We are delighted to have you here today. It is really very, very relevant to know how we are losing touch with arts and how schools can play an important role in bringing the various art forms of India and the classical dances that you specialize in. We all, the educators from various schools of India, are very keen to understand how we can pursue this, how we can implement the ideas that you will be sharing with us today. Thank you so much. Without any further ado, I would like you to take over. We once again welcome you at Aadhar Sheela Talks at RRIS. Welcome to everybody. I hope you all have a great learning time today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, may I request Ms. Ragasudha ma'am to please take over the session?
Namaste. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible. Namaste, ma'am.
Namaste. Namaste, Jayaji, for the wonderful introduction that you have given. Namaste, everyone, the students, the educators, and all the audiences that I have on this session. And thanks, Amit ji. I'm humbled and honored to be here on this Aadhar Sheela talk today to share whatever little that I know, and even whatever I have done so far. I have still long way to go. There are miles to go before I sleep. So namaste, everyone. In the given space and time, we are going to cover the arts that are mentioned in our scriptures and other texts. So the 64 arts. And then we will briefly touch on the different classical dances that we have in India. And the most important aspect would be how this could be promoted as a way of life, as part of the curriculum. And because dance is an art, it's a science, it's a discipline, it's an expression, it's multidimensional. So how we try to link the theory with practice and in the contemporary context, this is exactly what I'm planning to cover in the session, and I hope I do justice to it. So 64 kalas, while most of the time I would like to remain face-to-face interface with you people, but there will be on and off once or twice I might have to go to a presentation. It will be clearer, and then you have a take-home message, because I know this session is recorded. So even later on, other people also want to view. You will have something to research further, to investigate further, to carry the baton forward. Okay, so okay, so Amitji, am I going to do the present now, or are you going to give me the?
Ma'am, you'll be able to use the present now option and share your screen.
Okay, so I'm doing that. So first of all, I would like to actually talk about the 64 arts and show you some of the arts which are, of course, without knowing the name or without knowing the function, we are seeing them here and there. Not that nothing is being done. There are things being done at their own pace, but I would like to pick up maybe some 20 arts. Talk about the most, the minute I say this word, you know what it is. So I don't have to really explain, but I would like to focus on some of the things that we could really take forward. So in the context of arts, we have 64 kalas, 64 arts. And it's quite interesting to just start off with a small, anecdote. In Bhagavata Purana, it is mentioned that Lord Krishna and Balarama have learned these 64 arts in 64 days. Okay, that mention is there in our Puranas, number one. Number two, the list of arts and sciences are also mentioned in Sukraniti, okay, Sukracharya. Basically, the entire text is on what are the characteristic features of kings and princes, what knowledge they should possess, the do's and don'ts of the yuddha, when they go to war, etc., etc. It's a huge work, but it also, the Sukraniti also mentions 64 kalas. Okay, and then we have Chandogya Upanishad. In Chandogya Upanishad as well, you have these arts mentioned. Okay, and in Kalika Purana, there are several, texts where you find the mention of the arts and sciences that one should possess. And this is, for example, it's a three-dimensional importance. Number one, it's knowledge. Okay, knowing this art, knowing this skill, knowing this vidya. We are talking about education, so we are talking about vidya here. So knowing ABCDE is actually knowledge. Yeah, so we are actually acquiring knowledge. So one is knowledge acquisition. Two, it is also a joy. Singing is a joy, listening is a joy, dancing is a joy, seeing is a joy. So there is a cultural immersion here. So we are talking about an object of entertainment and cultural immersion as well. That is the second dimension. Okay. Now, third dimension, which is also one of the most important, and there is a bit of, a downside of it here, because for some, it is a work, their means of earning. Okay, for some, it is a means of earning. We talk about architecture, construction. Okay, we talk about certain, I will come to it in a bit. So there are some kalas, some vidya, some sciences, which will be means of living for some. Okay, so that is one dimension. So having a knowledge of these kalas, enjoying them, or entertaining ourselves, or even doing it as a part of our job, means of earning, these are the dimensions that we are looking at when we are talking about this 64 kalas. Okay, so I'm going to quickly share my screen. So give me a second, because we have to go on and off here. So I'm sharing, and then okay, Amitji, is my screen shared now? Can you all see my?
Not yet, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I actually let me go back.
Is the presentation available with us, Amit sir? Is this presentation available with us?
No, I couldn't actually. It's a huge file. Of course, I have later on removed some photos because I think so. Share your entire screen. I have clicked on share.
Correct. Now, yes, I think we see.
Is
Just
it now visible to you?
I think Sudha Jayaraman needs to stop her presentation mode. Okay, now we can see your presentation, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, we can see your screen.
Okay, so now I'm trying to make it full screen. So I moved away from the chat window. So if you're typing something or trying to interact with me, probably I won't be able to see because I'm on my presentation mode. Okay, so I'm going to mention.
I will convey to you.
Sorry?
If there's something important in the chat box, we will relay it to you.
Yeah, so next couple of minutes, we will focus on these arts that are important for us, that are being promoted, and then performed. And then some of the things I would like to highlight where we educators and, the schools can come into picture.
Miss Sudha
So,
Jayaraman, you need to stop your presentation mode because then we are not able to see Ragasudha ma'am's presentation.
okay. So that is a technical thing that I'll have to wait.
Ma'am, we are able to see now.
Okay, so is that okay? Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am, please continue.
Okay. So I was speaking about the kalas. The 64 kalas, this number assumes probably a different number when it comes to Jain and Buddhist literature. The mention of kalas arts are in Jain and Buddhist literatures as well. But obviously, we are focusing on one or two sources of reference for ease. So we have Vatsyayan, we have an extensive work done. So we would refer to, as I said, Sukraniti and Vatsyayan, who has mentioned about the 64 arts. So Geetam, we know Geet. We are all fond of music, this music, that song, we are all fond of music. So Geetam is music. And that, of course, the classical music and light music. There are schools, performing arts schools, teachers, and of course, we even within the school as a extracurricular or co-curricular activity, music is being taught. So Geetam, Vadyam, instruments. So we have wind instruments, we have string instruments, so Vadyam is instrument. So that is also promoted well. Nrityam, dance. So once we finish this 64, the kalas, I'm going to speak a little more on the dance. So we will take it up in after about say 10 minutes or so. So Nrityam is about dance. And we have, again, we'll come back to the classical dances and the regional dances. And then we have what is called as Pratimala. Probably, even if some of you may have heard, Pratimala is basically reciting. It's a recitation where the previous presenter, okay, the previous person who has recited, stops his recitation with an akshara, and then the next one takes up from that akshara and starts reciting poems. So it's like our Antakshari. We all know Antakshari. Yeah. So we sing songs with, this person sang a song, ended with one akshara, we pick up with that akshara and then sing a song. So it's a huge entertainment for us. Thanks to the innumerable songs that we have in different languages. So it is akin to that. So Pratimala is mostly with the literary works, poems, and it's recitation. And it is an art. Not everybody could become a pro there. So it's an art that could be developed and that could be honed at a young age with the people. And then we have Alekhyam. Alekhyam is a painting, again, promoted art by several schools and, various ways of all paintings, this painting, that painting. So we have, again, art of painting, Alekhyam. And then Viseshaka Chedyam. And this is where I wanted to also highlight. That's why I put it in a different color. Viseshaka Chedyam is the art of face painting. So using, I can hear somebody else speaking actually. Can you please mute? Okay, Thank you. So Visheshaka Chedyam is the art of face painting. So using different, extracts from different herbal, products, seeds, leaves, and whatever, and then using it for body painting and face painting. This, in the modern context, also is being taken up, especially in Europe. Here in the UK, I see this art of face painting not necessarily done by Indians or for Indians. Even in European countries, this face painting is a huge art. But of course, they do it in an informal context as well. So this is something that we can, entertain. And then we have Udaka Vadyam, Udaka, water, Vadyam, sound. So we are talking something about instruments like Jaltarang. So you have these, vessels with water, and then you make sounds on it, which will, the amount of water in the vessel actually determines the type of sound, nada, the type of sound. So this is also quite, some people are doing it. We have good Jaltarang artists. So it's an art again. So playing on water to produce different musical sounds. Then we have Gandhayuktihi. Gandh, Sugandh is fragrance. So Gandhayuktihi is an art. It's an art of actually, mixing up of different oils, and it's perfumery. And then again, throughout the world, perfume industry is a big business as well. So art of aromatics, and we have, aromatherapy, for example, using different oils for, soothing down, calming down, and, so we have very much in vogue. So art of aromatics and perfumery. Then we have Aindrajala, so the magic, the illusion, or sometimes, it can be taking people into that illusion, that hypnosis. So Aindrajala also is done by some people, like, P.C. Sarkar, for example, used to, do that Jadugari and all that. So we do have this art. But the promotion of it is obviously in different layers and different levels. So now Suchivana Karma is again, the names, these are Sanskrit names, so they may sound quite complex and complicated, and you feel, oh my God, I never heard about it. But yes, we all know, especially women, girls, because it's needlework. We learn at a young age, the nannies and the daddies at home, acha ye seekhna chahiye, you should know this, you should know that, embroidery, ye karo, wo karo, kutch work and whatever. So basically it's the art, needlework, where, the stitching and darning, and, we have different subheads to that. So this is Suchivana Kriya. And again, you can see that I have used a different color here because I really wanted some schools and some people to take it up and promote further. Prahelika. Prahelika, and some people are actually good. It comes naturally with some people. It's art of creating or solving puzzles, riddles. Okay. So again, this the solving we do in an informal way. The Monday comes day before yesterday and 2 days after. This kind of riddles we do in a very informal setting. But this actually helps overall development of children. When this is introduced at a young age. Not merely for entertainment or, jab time mila, tab, thoda sa, acha chalo, let's, not like that. As an art, inculcate that as a skill, as an art at young age. Okay, so this will be quite, it's a mind game as well. It's like chess, you see. In chess, what do we do? Okay, usne wo move kiya, to what next should I do? You're actually pre-preparing. Okay, let me be ready. And it's of course, we are talking about a sport and game, but here also, it's like, creating or solving different, riddles and puzzles, which is quite interesting, and it enhances the mind power. It enhances the thinking caliber and, the thinking faculty. So Prahelika is one art mentioned in the 64 arts. Pustaka Vachanam. Okay, we may think, okay, it's just reading, everybody does it. I do, you do, everybody does it. But Pustaka Vachanam is also like reading it with a proper intonation. Okay, for example, only as an example, we are looking at some chanting, some shloka. Okay, Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini. So we know where to intend, the intonation, where to, khinchna chahiye, where you have to, emphasize, etc. There is a way we do that. And sometimes, Ramayan, for example, the recitation of Ramayana or any texts or scripts will be done with a in dance. We have one small chant that I'm fond of, whether we dance on it or not. So Chataveda se sunava. So it starts with a little melody and Sanaparushagati Durgani Sindhumna. So it's like a proper way of intonation and a melodious tune, and that can be actually taught. It's an art. It's not like, okay, Betty bought some butter, but the butter was bitter. It's not like that. It's not like that bland way of just reading. It's not simply reading, but it's reading with the proper, tonality, with the proper intonation, with proper emphasis, with the proper pronunciation, etc. So Pustaka Vachanam is an art, and this also can be, inculcated as an art, not as, on informal way, but as an art. Make it as a habit, make it as an enjoyment, make it a people enjoy reading, but that has to be encouraged as well. And then we have Kavya Samasya Puranam. This is also quite interesting, and in fact some of us educators can actually develop that further. So Kavya Samasya Puranam is filling up the blanks. So you have verses, and one has to be well read for this. You have verses and you leave a blank. And the person, and this used to happen in a lot of kingdoms, in a lot of sabhas. Raj ka sabha jab hota tha, we have Bhoja Raja, we have all these, Mantri Timmarusu, we have lot of centuries where this used to happen. Pandits, scholars used to do this, engage in debate and engage in discussion, and कौन superior है, किसको title मिलेगा, या whatever. It used to happen in olden days, very very olden days. So samasya, kavya samasya puranam is like, for example, only as an example, if I say twinkle twinkle little star dash, I'm leaving there. So automatically how I wonder should come, right? So something like that. So we can start at a very elementary level, make children understand, make the young understand with the things that they already are doing as a part of their, studies, and then introduce them to, proper poetry, proper works, and where, they will be filling up the verses. The first two lines are read and the next two lines have to be filled up. Or the first line is read and the second or third line has to be filled up. So it's basically the art of fill up the blanks in verses. So Kavya Samasya Puranam. And then of course we know Vastu Vidya. It's quite prevalent and quite it's again a means of living for many. So it's architecture, the construction, and all the all the aspects of Vastu. Then we have Takshanam. Takshanam is carpentry. Again, it's a means of living for some. So carpentry, woodwork, and all that. And then we have Vrukshayurveda Yoga. It's a knowledge of herbs and plants, gardening, what type of soil is required, what type of manure is required, the germination of seeds, the various elements required with gardening. And of course, this in a small way, this also includes knowledge about, I remember when we used to cough, Ayurveda is a different aspect altogether, but I'm just speaking about one example. We never, for little things like khansi ho gayi, zukam ho gaya, the first thing, ya maar laga, which is the most usual thing happens in home remedies. So the minute we have some scratch or some wound, the first thing that comes is, haldi lagao jaldi, because haldi is antiseptic, turmeric. Okay, so the knowledge, how do we know? How do I know? I know perhaps from my mom. How does she know? She knows from her mom or grandma. So, but this is the knowledge which has come from our elders and ancestors, which I feel we have the responsibility to pass it on to the young, the future torchbearers. So Vriksha Ayurveda Yoga is knowledge of plants, herbs, and gardening, etc. And yes, some people are very good at it. I mean, they really study, and then the seasons, which seeds germinate in which season, which flowers, which, I mean, they're very good at it, and that's an art according to our even ancient Indian texts. And then we have Kesamardana Kaushalam, Kesh, hair. And the Kesamardana Kaushalam is the art of massaging, art of hairdressing, basically, hairdos, and to do with hair. Okay, so the art of, the knowledge of hairdressing and massaging and, hair growth and again the same, the age-old practice. Acha, coconut oil laga do, parachute laga do. Aajkal, the parachute has become synonymous with coconut oil. Acha, parachute laga do, you will have good hair, thick hair, black hair, and we have again different hair oils. So Kesamardana Kaushalam is the knowledge about hairdressing and massaging. And Manasi Kavya Kriya, something to do with, again, kavyas, poetry and texts we are talking about. Manasi Kavya Kriya is, composing. This is the art of composing, and some people are really good. Even if you take, for example, our Bollywood composing also, people used to compose those beautiful lyrics. If you take an old song, Hari Hari Vasundhara pe Neela Neela Ye Gagan, beautiful song, very old song, but what beautiful lyrics! How, compose karne ke liye bhi, it's an art. Okay, so I'm just giving you some examples so that you understand better, but it is there in, thousands of years old knowledge. So Manasi Kavya Kriya is basically, a hint is given to you. Chalo asman pe abhi kuch likho. Ya fir, you write something on Indradhanush, you write on something. So when a hint is given, when an idea is given, then a poems can be composed on it, and it is a skill. It is a skill, a subject is given to you, a hint is given to you, and it's not about, okay, you get some 45 days and you sit and you write and this word I can replace and I can do. It's not like that. It's basically, it's an art. It's a skill and art. It comes, it comes. So that can be again honed, that can be developed, So, and of course, there are good kavis, we have, good scholars doing that, but this can be inculcated as well. And then, Desa Bhasha Vijnanam. Desa Bhasha, regional languages. And of course, now we can take it as, because world is a global village, we can actually extend that to our other geographical areas of the world also. But Desa Bhasha Vijnanam means, it's the knowledge of provincial languages, the different languages, dialects, and this was very important, even when we, for example, read Ramayana or any kingdoms, the kings and the princes used to be sent to gurukuls for education. And they used to be taught about Tarkam, Arthashastra, economy, philosophy, and, all these, they used to be taught there in gurukuls. And when it comes to this Desa Bhasha Vijnanam, a good king should understand his praja, his people. And kingdoms, we had great kingdoms. We had Magadha, we had, we had great kingdoms. So that means we had these, like today we have states. In our in the present day context, political map of India, we have states. So we have Gujarati, we have Punjabi, we have Malayalam, we have Telugu, we have different languages. So so going back to olden days, kings, princes, when they are future kings, they are given this knowledge. They are expected to know, to understand their peoples, their, vyavaharik, their, the ways and means, and I'll come back to it in my next subsection. So, Desa Bhasha Vijnanam, again, here, Of course, we know we have French, we have Japanese, we have German. I myself have done a postgraduate diploma in German language because it was quite nearer to Sanskrit, and I just wanted to study the similarities and the different reason why I have taken. But yeah, so knowing a foreign language is important for many. Okay, not to undermine that objective, but still, languages, different languages. Learn Sanskrit, our own language. You learn different. I know even today we have people in very very interior parts of some states where people cannot speak Hindi. Also, we do have some instances, so it's a very wide language. So there's a Bhasha Vijnana, and then we have the last one, which is Abhidhana Kosam. So something related to language, so I have taken immediately after that. Abhidhana Kosham is basically the lexicon. So take any language, English, Hindi, any language. It's not about just conversing. अच्छा आप कैसे हो? खाना खा लिया आज? Okay, ठीक है. हाँ, अभी मैं बाहर जा रही हूँ, तो हमको ना थोड़ा घूमने जाना है. We are not talking about the conversational or what we learn. There is much more to it. Much more. There are always, even in English, any language we take, there are always words that we perhaps may not know. So some people are very good, these scholars, writers, literature, kavis. Why are they able to do their works? Because they have a better vocabulary. They have developed a better vocabulary. ये word का ये meaning होता है. या you have these पर्यायवाची शब्द, the synonyms. Acha is, instead of this word, we can also use this. This will be sounding very beautiful, very pleasing to the ears. Rhyme karna hai ya kuch bhi karna hai. So we try to do. So jitna Padakosham means what? Padakosham is also a word for dictionary. So lexicon, the more words you know, the better we can express. Okay, so the better we can express. So it's an art again. And you have to inculcate, you have to know more. वो जिज्ञासा होनी चाहिए. You have to have that thirst for, I already spoke about 20 arts here. So Abhidhana Kosam is basically the art of vocabulary lexicon, where you have knowledge of various words and their meanings and their usages, and it's quite interesting that way. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share as a screen so that you have it in front of you. Some of them are well promoted, well rehearsed, well performed, but there are some where we can really look into, and there are more. This is the 64 arts of ancient India, but some of them like horse riding and the elephant things that may not be applicable today. Horse riding still, because we still have in different parts of the world, or even in India, we still have, mount police, for example. In Canada, you have mount police. So they are like on horses. So horse riding may still be there, but, elephants and all that probably may not be applicable in today's context, but there are few more. If we have to talk about all the 64, then I need the whole day for it. So this is what it is that I wanted to share with you. And I'm stopping the presentation for now and going back to speaking. I want to interact with you people. So let me just come out of this window right now, and I'll come back to it later on. And okay. So am I seen now? Am I back on the screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I see Madhuji Preeta Anand nodding her head. I could see on my screen, so I know that I am on. Okay. So this is what it is about the 64 kalas, but I also want to give you a little more information for you to research and investigate more. Apart from this, there is also a mention of 32 sciences. Okay, so we have sciences. Arts and sciences actually go together. So we have sciences where we talk about Dhanurvidya. We have, Ayurveda. We have different. I'm not talking about the other one that I have spoken just now as an art, but I'm talking about a proper science, proper study. So And these sciences would be not taking too much of time and not really, making it complex for you to understand. But this is from Vedas, Upavedas, Vedangas, Shastras. So all this is like, there will be a list and you can investigate further. I'm leaving it with you, with all the educators and teachers, and of course others who would like to go deeper into it. So, but one thing I would like to mention is Samaveda. That Veda is on music. It's a huge compendium on music. And the Upaveda of Samaveda is Gandharva Veda. And Gandharva Veda is the treatise, the work on, basically, which focuses only on music, art. Okay, art and dance as well. So that is what is important for you. Samaveda as a Veda. It's Upaveda, so we are doing this now. Okay, umbrella. And then you have subsection, subsection, subsection. So Samaveda is important for us because the context itself is dance. And of course, music is part of it. It's a confluence. So we cannot separate music from dance. They go hand in hand. Okay. So this is about the 64 arts. Now coming back to dances. I would like to mention the classical dance forms of India. I'm sure you know about some of them, but there are some that I'm thinking I would rather give you more information on it briefly. Okay, so of course we have, I will mention it, but I will show you on the screen later on because I remember now, I came out of it. Okay, so according to Natya Shastra, now Natya Shastra is a huge work on arts. Okay, of course, we dancers, and if you have dancers and dance teachers in the audiences also, we know that we refer to Natya Shastra. That is the Natya Shastra for us, the main work that we refer to. Of course, we have other works which I will come back to you a little bit later on. Now, Natya Shastra has 36 chapters, huge. So it is not just dance. It is about music, it is about musical instruments, it is about drama. You have, it's a huge work. Okay. So again, as I said, if I have to speak on Natya Shastra, I need 2-3 hours only to speak on Natya Shastra. But again, I'm leaving certain bits of information for you. So Natya Shastra, what is important for us to touch is Natya Shastra mentions 4 pravrittis. Okay, pravrittis, that's the word. Pravrittis. Now, this is interesting as well as important for us because according to this, the information that we have in Natya Shastra is, dates back to, thousands of years. So, 4 pravrittis, this divides India into 4 zones. Okay. So that divides India into 4 zones. And as I said, I would want to have the screen so that you can note and you can have it as a testimony, as a recording. So, but then to just briefly mention and go back to our classical dances, it is South India, southern region. Then we talk about East, we talk about North, we talk about West. Simple. If we just have to finish it in 30 seconds, it's basically, what are these zones? North India, South India, East India, West India, in today's context. Okay, this has been mentioned in Natya Shastra. Imagine, India has been divided into zones in Natya Shastra itself. There is a mention of it. And then, rather than giving an oral Anga, Vanga, Kalinga, Magadha, rather than saying this orally, I would like to, probably give you that slide. Okay, so when we come back to classical dances, we are trying to cover, most of these regions. Okay. So, Kathak dance. You don't need an introduction to Kathak dance at all. So Kathak, of course, up north, and that's the origin, and that's where, of course, it is promoted and practiced and performed everywhere now. But then we are just talking about this directions where probably they would have taken roots. So Kathak, then when you come, so we went north, so we come south now. We have Bharatanatyam, and I have, thanks to my guru, whatever I am today and whatever I have learned is because she spent her intellect and effort on me. And as I said, we all have a long way to go. I myself have a long way to go. So Bharatanatyam finds its mention in old texts and Silappatikaram and Sangam literature, etc. So let's not go into that aspect now. And then we have Kuchipudi, so Siddhendra Mahayogi, and that also is an ancient form of dance. So South, we've spoken about that. And then we move to Kerala. We have Kathakali, dance drama form. And of course, again, as I said, you may have obviously known about it, so nothing new. So Kathakali dance form, again, the present, the terminology that we use comes from about 16th century. But then, of course, there is a predecessor to it where you have mention in it's legendary. Okay, so Kathakali. What probably you have to understand from Kathakali is a bit vigorous dance form. Usually males do it. You don't have females doing Kathakali. Okay, so it's more masculine. And there is, we go back to face painting now. The 64 arts, and now link it with Kathakali. The makeup that they do, the colors that they use. Okay, green, red, black. When we talk about orangish shade, So when you close your eyes and imagine Kathakali, half of you will get that face with a green paint, yeah, and then all that. So, but then if there is a green in makeup, predominantly green makeup, which means it's about deities and divinities and the goody guys, the good characters, green. And if you have red, so green and red combination, or predominantly, red and all that, that it is now depicting evil, the bad guys, the Rakshasas, and, all the evil characters. Okay. And then maybe one more mention that I could do black. Black is something which is, I'll tell you later on why I'm so close to forest people and tribal culture. So hunters, the forest characters, the hunters and all that, then when black is used predominantly, that it's about hunters and those forest characters. This is what probably some of you it may be new to you, but this is what it is, Kathakali, the dance drama. And then, as I said, this is usually the male-dominated art form. And then the feminine side of it, the other art form which is there in the same geographic area is Mohiniyattam. And I'm talking about these art forms, keeping in view the Sangeet Natak Academy's recognition. But I'm going to tell you something extra as well, which is more useful, new information for you. So we have, what did we do? We touched Kathak, we touched Bharatanatyam, we touched Kuchipudi, we touched Kathakali, we touched Mohiniyattam. 5 are already done. Okay, now we move towards East. Audra. I'll come back to it later on, sorry. So it's just coming naturally. I'll have to really contain that excitement. So Audra is East. So when you go East now, you have Manipuri, which is, of course, they say in old Manipuri texts, apparently, we have the mention of Gandharva Desa. So they call themselves the Meitei people of Manipur, the local people there in their own. So they refer to themselves, the people of Manipur as Gandharvas, because it was Gandharva Desha in their own ancient old texts. So Manipuri dance, beautiful dance, the Vaishnavite, the stories that they tell, especially the aharya, the costume is so beautiful, so Manipuri. So we have done 6. Okay. Now what I actually wanted to, tell you as a take-home message is the Satriya dance. The Satriya classical dance is also from East, from Assam, basically. This is, this also is a dance drama form, and more popularized by the saint scholar Srimanta Shankaradeva. Okay, about 15th century saint he is, and that part of the country which we should probably create more awareness about is the Satriya dance. Because Kathak everybody knows, Bharatanatyam, see, when we are saying we would like people to be more knowledgeable, we have to raise awareness of everybody. We all are better people. After this session, I'm telling you, I'm not sure how many are attending, 100, 200 people. All of us are better people because you know certain things already. And then you can take it forward. Take time, but take it forward. So, Satriya dance. Okay. And Odissi, again, needs no introduction at all. Comes from Odisha. And then it's a very, very ancient. Again, it finds its mention in the Natya Shastra itself. So very, very old ancient dance. And most of the dancers have a temple dancing background. So this is what it is, the eight dancers according to the Sangeet Natak Academy recognition. But then what I want to tell you is there's one more ancient dance which comes from South India, is the Tandava dance. It's actually sorry, called Perini. Perini Tandavam it is called, or Perini Shiva Tandavam. Okay, so this Perini dance is again quite old, almost about 7 centuries old. This was in peak. This was actually patronized, and this dance form has prospered in the times of Kakatiya dynasty. So if you have heard about Prataparudra and Rani Rudramadevi, of course, me being a woman, I will talk about Rani Rudramadevi, equivalent of Jhansi Ki Rani. From north, we have Rani Rudramadevi. So we are talking about 12th century, end of 11th century was when the dynasty was established, the first king. But of course, it flourished for two centuries, 200 years. It really flourished in what is now called as Telangana, so Warangal area. So Kakatiya kingdom, this has prospered, this art form has prospered a lot in Kakatiya kingdom. And again, we are talking already of 800 years. We are already talking about 800 years now. Okay, so and then of course it diminished, and then it had to be popularized again. And then there are gurus like Nataraja Ramakrishna who has brought this out, and he's no more with us today, but great gurus. So Perini Tandava, Perini Shiva Tandava, mostly done by men again, mostly. Okay, it doesn't stop anybody from learning, but yes, it was done mostly by men, and today, of course, in a modern context, it is a different thing. And another art form which I probably would want to tell you, with a temple dancing and Alaya Nritya Sampradaya, whatever, quite revived recently for the last few decades, is Vilasini Natyam. Okay, now Vilasini Natyam, this Perini Tandavam and Vilasini Natyam could be something new to you, and this is what I wanted to value add for the session. So Vilasini Natyam, the great Swapna Sundari ji has popularized it and revived it, and it's promoted very well all over. So a lot of work has been happening for the last 2-3 decades. So this is, I mean, reviving our forms, reviving our arts, reviving our even dances, music, whatever, is divine. Some people will be able to do, they spend their lifetime doing that. It doesn't happen in 1 or 2 years. It needs, it's a yoga by itself, complete dedication, complete focus. And that's why, remember one thing, this is all our intangible heritage. Okay, this is our intangible heritage given to us by, our sages, saints, scholars and poets and, composers, Annamacharya, Tyagaraja, recently, last 100, 200 years. But this is passed on to us by somebody. Okay, and then we are here today. What is our responsibility? Should it end with us? No. We should prepare a battalion, a new generation battalion of people who know about it. So we are talking about at least awareness creation and knowledge enhancement. Now, how seriously people should take it, and that again depends. But as tutors, as educators, as mentors, it's our responsibility to give knowledge, what we have acquired. What we have acquired. First of all, किसी को बोलना है तो पहले अपने को तो भी पता चले. First of all, we should know, isn't it? So it is our own quest. It is our own journey, our own thirst for knowledge. So hum zyada padhenge. I'll give you some references also by the end of this session. So the thirst has to be there. Thirst kabhi khatam nahi hona chahiye. It's not something like प्यास लग गई तो पानी पी लिया खत्म, फिर अगली बार प्यासे हुए तक हम लोग आराम. It should not be like that with knowledge. You should, and some people definitely are creative, comes as a second nature to them, more creative. Some people hone it, develop करते हैं. पढ़ के it's languages, for example, anything करते we become good at it. And some people by their faculties are a bit more active, and they are obviously doing more, all our great scholars. So Satriya, the classical dance, Satriya, Assam, something that you have taken. Vilasini is something that I have spoken, something more contemporary, revived recently in the last few decades. And of course, spoke about Perini Tandavam, which is, as I said, 800-year-old. It flourished. It flourished a lot in Kakatiya kingdom. It did not, I don't mean that it started there. Yeah, so we have the earliest reference of Perini Shiva Tandavam is from Kakatiya dynasty, which is about 800 years old. So imagine, uske piche aur kitna, regionally the name would have been different. And you go back to Natya Shastra for everything. And I will again somewhere try to share a screen. I hope I have typed it out for you. I hope so. So let me try and present now. Agar nahi hai to then I will give you orally. I remember shayad maine add kiya usko, because I really wanted you people to know about it. Okay, so I'm going back to my presentation, and yes, I think I've added. Good. Okay. Can you see me now? Can somebody please unmute and tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can see. Yes, ma'am.
So, and this is for you from Natya Shastra, which is आपको ना 1-2 हजार साल पहले लेके चले गए पुरानी चीज. So the pravrittis that I talked about, which divides India into 4 zones, as per 4 pravrittis mentioned in Natya Shastra. And what are these pravrittis? We are talking about regional flavor. So we are talking about regional styles, regional cultures, regional behaviors of people, because जैसे one example, North India में रोटी बहुत खाते हैं, South India में rice बहुत खाते हैं. This is just a behavior. This is one best example I can give you. Why? Because it's regional difference. लोग वही हैं, हम सब Indians ही हैं, भारत के ही हैं, but then regions में थोड़ा सा difference आ जाता है. ठीक है? So in the context of today's session, we are talking about regional songs. We are talking about regional dances. We are talking about regional musical instruments, languages, costumes. I mean, पूरा हर region का अलग-अलग होता है. Now you relate it to the classical dances or the other dances I, gave you. इनका costume अलग होता है. You can clearly see Manipuri dance का costume is entirely different from, say, a Kathak dancer. Kathak का costume is entirely different to Bharatanatyam costume. So you know now. I don't have to really push you into that oblivion, because you have information now. So now the typical terminology. Okay, this coining terms is quite interesting. So you have Dakshinatya. Dakshinatya means southern region. And what is mentioned in Natya Shastra itself, see, we are going back, as I said, some 2000 years back. Yeah. So southern region, you had Kosala, Maharashtra, Sahya, Dramidandhra. You have these names mentioned there. Of course, we can relate it to the current scenario. Because as time passed, we have new states formed, and the जहाँ पे 15 थे, 15 से 19 to 25 to then union territory. So ये सब political बाद में जाते हैं. But then the mention, it is a treasure for us. Such kind of textbooks are treasure for us, क्योंकि उसमें ही इतना information है हमारे लिए कि we all stand gained from this. So Dakshinatya, which is southern region, and Panchala Madhyama, तो up north आप जा रही हो दिल्ली से ऊपर, मतलब somewhere मध्य प्रदेश, वहां से थोड़ा सा ऊपर, So we're talking about northern region. And what is mentioned there is Hastinapura. Hastinapura अभी आपको तो पता है, मुझे बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. But you have names, you have what is the kingdoms or the areas mentioned there is Surasena, Hastinapura, Madra, Usmara, etc., etc. And then as maps changed, and as the European conquest and Arab conquest has come, the names, pronunciations, spellings सबसे ज्यादा थोड़ा सा यहाँ वहाँ change ho jata hai. And of course, today's India, we can. So then you have Audra Magadhi or Audra Magadhi, depends upon which book you are referring to. Audra Magadhi or Audra Magadhi, same, which is Eastern region. Okay, Eastern region. Audra means East. So Audra Magadhi, Magad. So what we have, Anga, Vanga, Kalinga, Magadha, Nepala, Brahmottara. These are the areas in that Eastern region. Mentioned in where? In Natya Shastra itself. Okay. And then we have Avanti. Now, Avanti is Western region. So we have Saurashtra, Malava, Sindhu, Vidisha. All these are Western mentioned in Avanti Pravritti. So Vritti Pravritti is what you should remember. And therefore, we have regional styles. I'm coming back to it as a bottom line. So we have a text, a 1,000-year-old text we have in front of us, which has mentioned not just the classical dances, but also some other, because people are regional. Yeah, so you have colloquial things, different languages, dialects, and then now related to the 64 kalas that we have spoken about. Desa bhashas, the different dialects, different, vernacular languages that we can master, art of mastering. Okay, so this is what it is. I hope this is quite useful to you, because I wanted to leave you with this information. So I've stopped sharing. We will probably go back to it maybe after a few minutes, and let me come back and show my beautiful face to you again. Okay, so the classical dances, and remember, when we talk about this regional aspect, there are tribal dances, there are folk arts. So of course our focus is classical dance, but please, we should also take care of the other the forest people's cultures, and the indigenous cultures is what we have to think. I mean, 108, there's so much work in Natya Shastra. Start reading one by one, and you will have it yourself. Okay, so, and then though, I mean, I do not really want to make it too long and boring for you, but yes, of course, we've spoken a lot on this, and this weekend in the modern context, dance is not just about learning Odissi or learning Kathakali or, doing something. It's not just, it is an expression. It is an expression, and there is a joy. I told you already. There is a joy. And in different texts that we have a text, of course, Natya Shastra, everybody knows, promotes. Most of the dancers talk about it, teachers talk about it. But you also have a very important work from 13th century, which is called as Sangeeta Ratnakara. Okay, Sangeeta Ratnakara is by Sarangadeva, 13th century, roughly. And there is a commentary written about it. We have lost some texts. We have lost some texts for various reasons. But there have been scholars, there have been people who have written commentaries about it. Maybe 100 years later, maybe 200 years later. So even if the original text is missing, we still have those 500-year-old, 700-year-old, 900-year-old commentaries written by people of those times, which we should cherish and read and enhance our own knowledge and pass it on. So Sangeeta Ratnakara has a complete chapter on dance. So Natya Shastra is a compendium, but we have Sangeeta Ratnakara, which is a very important work. And I'll give you two more before we finish. So it's about mudras, kya karna chahiye, what mudra means, what gesture means what. You have neck movements, you have shirobhedas, head movements, you have drishtibhedas, look straight, look up, look down. I mean, so much. It's an ocean. Trust me, I cannot finish it in 1 or 2 hours. I'm trying to give you as much as possible without making you feel fatigued about it, because information overload is sometimes dangerous. You end up not learning anything. So yes, I'm leaving you thirsty. I'm leaving you thirsty on purpose so that you investigate further. So and then in Natya Shastra, in Samaveda, because we spoke about in Samaveda itself, again we are going still. I mean, if I have to be a little, humorous, we are going backer and backer. So we are just going back. So Samaveda, we've gone back to Samaveda. In Samaveda itself, there is a Grama Gana mentioned. There is Aranya Gana mentioned. What do you understand? You know the words. Grama Gana, rural villages, Aranya, forests. So there are regional flavors. So it's not about always about Sarigama Padani. It's not always about, of course, we should know the classical singing, whether it is Uttara Dakshina. So we have Carnatic vocal and Hindustani vocal. So of course, these are well grounded, and we have all our great, people, accomplished artists who are doing that. But then, as I said, we have Gramagana, we have Aranyagana mentioned. That means there is a scope of, regional flavors even then from that time. So that is something. And what else can I say? Yeah, so we have to look at dance as a way of living. So it's not about a yaar class hai, mujhe jana hai, not that. We don't want that from children. We don't want a baap re, my legs are aching, my hands are aching. Oh my God, I don't want to do. Not such a strict regime also. Discipline hona chahiye. But we can make it interesting, we can make it enjoyable. And over a period of time, we can use dance, which I am going to do a 2-3 minute presentation of what we also do. So what I do here, what I've been doing for the last 8 to 10 years, is using dance for socially important topics, culturally important topics. So hey, we will do, in fact, today's, we should have started with it. And greetings to you on Tulsi Das ji ko hum yaad karenge aaj. We've got Thumak Chalat Ramachandra. Beautiful Thumak Chalat Ramachandra. Beautiful bhajan. And there are people dancing on it. So these great saints and poets, they have given so much to us as a legacy, and we have to actually create further legacy. So culturally important topics, socially important topics. What we have been doing is we have been doing it for water conservation. Yeah, we initiated 5 years ago, we initiated what is called as Jalanjali, tribute to water conservation. So we talk about water issues, water pollution, water management, water poverty. In some of the countries, there's no drinking water actually. So by creating, I don't want to use the word creating, raising awareness, because probably there is an awareness, but we are raising awareness among people. We have panel discussions, etc. And I create dance pieces. So like that, you can take a important topic, create something on it, create a poem, create a work, create an article, create a song, compose. Kuch bhi ho sakta hai. 64 arts. Huge scopes we have. ठीक है? Puzzle create करो उस पे. Why not? समस्या पूर्ण करो. You can do anything. So, dance can be, as I said, can be a way of life. Not just learning, ठीक है, school हो गया 3:30 को, अभी 1 hour dance class. Not like that. But, we can do something quite a bit in dancing. Fitness. क्योंकि जो poses होते हैं, we call it aramandi, murumandi, whatever, sit and bend the knees and straight, and the asanas, the yoga asanas. Some asanas, like Shiva का जब भी तांडव करते हैं, Shiva के कुछ he's the Adi Yogi, he's the first yogi according to our texts. So उनके जो कुछ तांडव के poses होते हैं, they are well grounded in yoga, hatha yoga, some poses, some asanas. So fitness, that is one area we can explore. Dance, but in the area of fitness, dance karo, cardio, blood circulation increase hota hai. There are physical and mental health benefits of dance, and that is what, agar parents ko bolni hai, kuch inspire karni hai, motivate karni hai, to contemporary context में भी use किया जा सकता है. If you keep on talking about Natya Shastra, maybe half the people wouldn't turn up. It happens. There are no takers. Why we are not able to create a legacy, a huge legacy, is because there are no takers. Not many takers. कर रहे हैं लोग. We should not say zero is happening, but takers नहीं रहेंगे ना. Sanskrit language पीछे पढ़ के, these are the things that we can really do something about. So dance, coming back to dance. So एक fitness हो गया, एक discipline हो गया. Of course, cultural aspect we have discussed enough, and then it's an expression. There is a joy in it. ठीक है, express करने के लिए. Simple things. ठीक है, I'm searching for my friend. I'm searching. search, we are searching. So there is a Sirobeda, we are moving the head, we are moving the eyes. Usko dance ke vocabulary mein, using a particular mudra, and a lot of things can be done. So a way of life, expression, fitness, and all this, and we can very well, पिछले 1 घंटे से यही बात हो रही है कि we can very well integrate dance into our education. We don't have to take it as something, and some schools are doing it, but what is happening is like annual day होता है, या कुछ ये डे होता है, वो डे होता है, इंडिपेंडेंस डे होता है, रिपब्लिक डे होता है, स्पोर्ट्स डे होता है. So there are invariably dance programs. बच्चे करते हैं, बड़े करते हैं, प्राइमरी स्कूल, सेकेंडरी स्कूल, हाई स्कूल, सभी लोग करते हैं. We have 3 hours, 4 hours cultural showcase. Not like that. And of course schools are doing well, कम से कम कुछ तो आ रहा है. Not so much into Bollywood dancing, but yes, कुछ तो हो रहा है. But then this can be integrated as part of education. हम नहीं बोलेंगे. For example, I have a daughter, she's 9-year-old. मैं उसको नहीं बोलूंगी तो कैसे पता चलेगा? अच्छा, मार लग गया, जल्दी से हल्दी लगाओ before you go to a doctor, या खांसी हुई तो black pepper और तुलसी के पत्ते, कोल्ड हो गया तो ये करो, वो करो. How do we know? Eucalyptus oil. This is the knowledge given to us by our ancestors, which हम लोग अभी we are following, and then we are trying to do for our children as well. Take dance also like that only. Make it. This is probably appeal समझो, या a charter of bullet points समझो, but then dance, music, these arts can be and should be integrated as part of education system. Chapter लगा दो एक. जब आपको ना एग्जामिनेशन में चैप्टर बनेगा ना, तो लोग तो पढ़ेंगे ही, पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा बच्चों को, क्योंकि मार्क्स मिलते हैं ना. तो ठीक है, 1 बार 2 बार. कैसे हिस्ट्री कैसे पढ़ते हैं हिस्ट्री? सम ऑफ द डेट्स आर लिटिल डिफिकल्ट, तो ठीक है, रटाओ या कुछ भी, जो भी करो, बट देन एक यू आर एक्चुअली आप लाइट दिखा रहे हो. So this is what it should be. We can integrate dance and other arts into our proper education system. It may not be easy. Private schools कर सकते हैं शायद जल्दी, but then system में आना चाहिए, administration में आना चाहिए, government level पे भी, private level पे भी, और private public partnership, जो भी हो, integrating the art into the mainstream as part of the education, not as extracurricular activity. आप साथ में ही करो, तो we are creating an army of next generation, scholars, next generation performers, next generation practitioners, next generation teachers. Some of them may want to become teachers and then carry the legacy. So we are creating a legacy here. And with this, I would like to end. There is a saying in Sangeeta Ratnakar I mentioned earlier. So, Geetam Vadyam Tatha Nrutyam Trayam Sangeetam Uchyate. So, dance is again not like an independent, dance comes, it's a confluence. Music bhi hai saath mein, instruments bhi hai, sound bhi hai, rhythm bhi hai. So with this, I would like to end my session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. There are a couple of questions in the chat box. Can I please read those questions and if you can answer them?
हाँ जी, because I actually don't think I can see the chat. तो आप please पूछ दीजिए मुझे.
Yeah. So the first question is, which volume of Natya Shastra would be ideal for me to read as an amateur in this space?
नहीं, नाट्य शास्त्र के वॉल्यूम सी प्रिंटिंग के लिए वॉल्यूम 1 वॉल्यूम 2 आपको मिलता होगा. नाट्य शास्त्र हैज 36 चैप्टर्स. आप हमने लेट अस गो बाय चैप्टर्स. आप वो 10 वॉल्यूम्स भी प्रिंट कर सकता है कोई, बट वी हैव गॉट गुड कमेंटरीज ऑन नाट्य शास्त्र. वन इज अभिनव गुप्तास. मतलब मेरे ख्याल से ये शायद वी हैव क्लोज टू मोर देन 2 million 2.5 million मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट स्टिल देयर. उसको डेसिवर्क करना है, डिजिटलाइज करना है. ऑफ कोर्स वर्क इज हैपनिंग. आर्काइव्स आर डूइंग, भंडारकर इंस्टीट्यूट इन पुणे एंड बीकानेर में है, तिरुपति में है, सरस्वती महल लाइब्रेरी, वन ऑफ द ओल्डेस्ट इन इंडिया, यू नो, तंजौर किंगडम, तो इट वाज फ्लरिशिंग एज फॉर आर्ट्स. सो यू नो, यू हैव those you know areas, कुछ commentaries है उसपे, तो some people. So Abhinav Gupta थोड़ा old है, but then the legacy was carried forward and you find those texts. Sanskrit में है, English commentary शायद किसी के है, किसी के नहीं. I myself have actually started working on शिवतत्व रत्नाकरा. शिवतत्व रत्नाकरा मैं पूरी तरीके से पढ़ी नहीं अभी, so I'm not really pro in saying something to you, but there are sections on arts. Dance पे भी एक section है शिवतत्व रत्नाकरा, which is, I mean, quite an old text as well. तो volumes को छोड़ दीजिए आप, I would say chapters. तो chapters आप if you have an inclination about dance, musical instruments, आपको 36th chapter है, 34th chapter है, I mean different chapters. You just go to the index. What I would suggest is go to the index. हर chapter का index होगा ना वहां पर, and see where your propensity is. आपको क्या पढ़ना चाहिए, because पूरा तो वैसे भी आप पढ़ नहीं पाओगे एक दिन में या एक महीने में. So pick up the chapter that you are most interested in, because these are independent chapters more or less. ऐसा नहीं कि आप अगर ABCD नहीं पढ़ोगे तो आपको एप्पल और बॉय नहीं आएगा, ऐसी बात नहीं है. तो take a chapter which is more of your liking and start reading, and then you will pick up. फिर मुझे तो बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है आपको, you yourself will, you know, gain the momentum.
Hi, sorry, my name is Meera. That was my question actually. If I could just give a perspective on that. Ma'am, my question, I'm sorry, I don't think I articulated my question well. What I meant to ask, in fact, is there, for example, when I read the Mahabharata, when I read the Ramayana, there are people who recommended Kamala Subramaniam ji's version. So I read that.
Okay.
So what I meant is, now the way you're saying, you know, specific commentaries. That is, you know, is there some specific commentary or a certain version that I can read as somebody who's new to space? That is what I meant by the question.
So, see, with reference to what I would like to add here is reading something related to spirituality and, you know, the history and all that is different. क्योंकि फिर उसमें even Ramayan has so many versions. आपको तुलसी रामायण है, वाल्मीकि रामायण है, you have got several. So because they have come up with the interpretations and commentaries like that, but with a skill and art like dance, जैसा for example, I'll just tell you, if I'm telling you this is Pataka, now this is Pataka from Natya Shastra from 2000, this will be Pataka for another 5,000 years. This cannot be changed. You got my point? So that will not be changed. Similarly, ragas पे पूरा chapter है, आपको भैरव राग है, या फिर कुछ भी खमास है, कुछ भी ले लो आप, शंकराभरणम है, नीलांबरी है, जो भी राग है, you and I will not change it. उसका एक खुद सरिगमा पदनी, and then the combinations and, you know, and then Manasola. I mean, आप शाम तक मुझे time दे दो, I can speak about several texts on. We have Manasolasa, which I started reading again thanks to Corona. Started reading it in March, so time लगेगा. But these are the texts. You just have to, as a set thirst. तो नाट्य शास्त्र का commentary मैं ये नहीं बोलूंगी कि ये अच्छा है वो बुरा है, because ultimately it's just it's a gestures and ragas, but it's a good question also at the same time. आप घोष करके, if you libraries में या आपको घोष करके आपका वो होता है, एक commentary होता है, that is good. I mean, Manmohan Ghosh, I think, very good. He's done extensive work on this Natya Shastra commentary. But अगर अभिनव गुप्ता का भी आपको मिल जाता है ना, English commentary I'm not very sure, but Sanskrit का आपको ये मिल सकता है, manuscript मिल सकता है. That's an excellent work, 10th century, लेकिन बहुत पुराना है. But somebody has to bring out. So yes, this is what I think.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank
And
you.
also Abhinaya Darpana, Nandikeshwara ka Abhinaya Darpana hai, again a very good work, extensive work, Nandikeshwara. So that is one very good work on dance.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one request from one or two participants that if you can share your email ID with them, so that so if it's possible,
हाँ,
you
sure.
to share.
मैं actually I'm unable to go into chat for some reason. I don't see that at all. वो option ही नहीं है मेरे उसमें present now.
Ma'am, we
Okay,
can
turn.
type. You just tell us. We'll type in the
हाँ.
box.
हाँ,
Yes.
तो
हाँ.
from my name, Ragasudha, so Ragas, the first 5 letters. R,
Yes.
A,
Yes,
G,
ma'am.
A, S. Okay, so Ragas, Ragas underscore V as in my surname Vinjamuri, so alphabet V,
Yes, ma'am.
at yahoo.co.in.
Co.in.
And with the same name, I am on Twitter, Ragasudha Vin, and I'm on Facebook, Ragasudha Vin Jamuri, if you want to connect. But before concluding, I just wanted to make also, I'll finish with the Q&A because I don't want to hold that. People may want to know more from me. And then I would like to show the 5 or 6 photographs of how we, used dance for environmental advocacy and, like telling the story of Ayurveda. I had the opportunity and I'm humbled that I got an opportunity to perform at the European Parliament in Brussels, Belgium. So I traveled there and I've spoken about the story of Ayurveda. Simple. Sagar Mathan, everybody knows. ठीक है, सागर मथन हुआ था, हालाहल निकला था, शिवजी यहाँ रख लिए, therefore he is called as नीलकंठ. फिर वहां से कल्पवृक्षा निकला और ये निकला, वो निकला, कामधेनु निकला. All that story most of us may know. But also it is important that उसी सागर मंथन में धन्वंतरी भी निकले थे. धन्वंतरी, who is a father of Ayurveda. तो ये डांस में मुझे they have given me only 10 minutes time, तो अभी 10 minutes में मैं पूरा कहाँ आयुर्वेदा दिखाऊंगी. So I've spoken about the emergence of Dhanvantari because they started with Dhanvantari mantra, all the Ayurvedic practitioners throughout the world, and there were representatives from about 100 countries. उनके सामने मुझे classical dance करने को मिला, so I'm feeling very pleased about it. तो 2 बार करी मैं, once in 2018 and once in 2020 January before the lockdown has started. So Ayurveda, as I said, can be promoted through dance. Why not? We can sing and we can do a lot.
One question, this is Amit here. So one question that I had, and I would speak from the student's point of view. So let's say if there is a student or there is a child who's keen to learn dance. So what is the right age this can start for them?
Okay, so this is again a very gray area. Okay, so people start learning from 5, from 4, 3.5. I think कभी-कभी मुझे लगता है parents become a little bit ambitious as well sometimes कि उनको बस ऐसे पैदल थोड़ा सा ऐसे कदम लेने चालू करते ही उनको डालना होता है डांस में. वैसे भी नहीं, we are not talking about extremes here, but I think 5, 6 would be. I'm not talking the legal age क्योंकि UK, for example, मैं जहाँ रहती हूँ वहाँ legal age भी होता है. Where if you have an institution, a proper dance institution, arts institution, फिर वो थोड़ा सा public performances के लिए under this age है तो 4 बजे के बाद perform नहीं करना चाहिए stage पे. There are a lot of things, so I'm not going into those details. But I'm saying 5 to 6 years is best age to start introducing the information.
And ma'am, the second question again from a student point of view. So if they were to let's say decide that at the age of 5 we start, so how much time do you think every day or every week that they should ideally invest in learning those art forms?
Again, this is different to different. It depends upon the end objective actually. ठीक है, आपको ना like there are exams, certificate course, diploma course, ये course grade 1, grade 2. तो आपका orientation क्या है? Are you doing it for certification? जिसका ठीक है grade 1 में ये syllabus है तो इतना सिखाना है. These are the number of hours, etc. For me, as I said, about 6 years, but 8 years is the best. Some people start at 3.5, 4. Some people don't start until 10. I have a student who is 65 years old. वो अपनी granddaughter को join करने आई थी मेरे पास. But then she was, she learned when she was very young. जब वो school में थी तो, and then she left it. शादी हो गई, बच्चे हो गए and all that. And I said, yeah, there's no age. मतलब आ जाओ. अरे नहीं, you know, in front of all the children I'll be the only. No, I said कोई बात नहीं, everybody is a learner, even I'm a learner. मैं भी खुद सीख रही हूँ बहुत कुछ, तो आ जाओ. So there is nothing like age. Age is a gray area for me personally. And also how many hours? It all depends upon. ठीक है, अगर आप टेनिस खेलोगे, कबड्डी खेलोगे या कुछ और खेलोगे तो कितने घंटे दोगे? Again, it depends upon the seriousness and the level, है ना. तो जैसे जैसे आप बढ़ते जाओगे तो ज्यादा ज्यादा टाइम दे पाओगे, because you want to, you know, literally go to the pinnacle. So again, this is a little bit different to different teachers, and for me it is a gray area again. But जब हमने सीखा था, you know, I'm going back so many years when my teacher taught us, we were in music college. हमारा हर रोज का क्लास होता था 2 घंटे का, Monday to Saturday. We never had Saturday holiday. Sunday was the only day we were off. Monday to Saturday, every day 2 hours. स्कूल खत्म होते ही भागो, स्कूल ड्रेस चेंज करो. स्कूल से ही डायरेक्ट जाते थे म्यूजिक स्कूल में, डांस स्कूल में. तो वहां पर चेंज करने के लिए होता था, तो वहां चेंज कर लेते कभी, या स्कूल में चेंज करते, वॉट एवर. बट देन वी आर इनटू डांस. बाय 4:30 वी आर इनटू डांस क्लास. ठीक है, 4:30 to 6:30 या 5 to 7 वॉट एवर. 2 घंटे करो करो करो. और ऐसा नहीं एक स्टेप को इतना कराते थे. माई टीचर, अनलेस शी इज हैप्पी with, you know, the type of you know, the shape and the bend and the shoulders and the spine and head and all that, she wouldn't go to the second step. तो वही करते थे. But the teachers were like that. इसलिए तो इतने अच्छे अच्छे, you know, लोग निकले उनके हाथ से. तो again, अब यहाँ के स्कूल करिकुलम में that's what it is. The disadvantage is you are taking it as an extra curricular activity. तो फिर क्या होता है, weekly once, weekly twice ऐसा ही हो जाता है. But then if you are taking it as a part of education, फिर आपको हर रोज 1 घंटा रहेगा ना, like any sports, like any other thing, PT, कुछ भी हो में. तो again this is a gray area, but I think the more time you give, the better. और starting में तो ज्यादा तकलीफ मत दो, because you have to get the young into doing it. तो उनको ज्यादा you know regime पे रखोगे तो फिर then ultimately interest चला जाएगा. So little by little introduce करो.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for explaining it wonderfully.
Could I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Most welcome.
This is Vandana Joshil. I'm one of the parents of RRIS, of the student of RRIS. My question is this: now, I come from a typical South Indian family, and as is with all South Indians, I have learned Bharatnatyam in my childhood. Now, I have 2 daughters, aged 9 and 6. And as expected, my family, as in the elders in the family, want my children also to go in and learn Bharatnatyam. Now, the problem is the kids are not really inclined. So the argument is that वो बच्चे हैं, उनको जब तक आप डालोगे नहीं वो सीखेंगे नहीं, उनको प्यार नहीं बढ़ेगा. Now, while one part of my heart says that yes, I must put them in for dance and they must learn Bharatanatyam because that's something that's part of our culture. Another part of me says that, you know, let them be children, let them want to, if they want to do it, you put them only then. So what is the advice here?
ठीक है, तो your name suggests you are from Karnataka, am I right?
No, I am from Kerala, Malayali.
Oh yeah, Joshil, okay, okay, fine, ठीक है. So see, basically we have spoken so much about the regional arts. We've spoken, आपको भरतनाट्यम करवाना है. If they are not interested, अभी interest की मुझे पता नहीं है, you know, I couldn't really get whether they were interested or not interested. So, but how do you get them interested is your question, as I understand.
Yes.
Okay, so generally क्या होता है कि मैं खुद आपको एक सवाल करती हूँ. Okay,
right.
They eat ice cream. After half an hour, again they want to eat ice cream. After another 15 minutes, they again want to eat ice cream. So will you keep letting them eat ice cream? What will be your reaction?
I will not give it to them.
You will not give them. Okay, फिर वो रोना धोना चालू करेंगे, हाथ पैर पटकना चालू करेंगे. What do you do?
I will probably try to explain, or फिर भी नहीं सुने तो maybe I will, you know, take the Raudra roop that I have.
हाँ, तो फिर भी नहीं दोगे. Bottom line is फिर भी नहीं दोगे.
हाँ.
ठीक है. फिर वो अगर थोड़े बड़े हैं, 10-11 साल के बच्चे हैं, तो यहाँ तो बाप रे, you know, they are like तो धमकी देने लग जाएंगे. You are not my mother. तुम अगर मेरी माँ होती तो, you know, all that dialogue बाजी. फिर क्या करोगे? फिर भी नहीं दोगे. Why are you doing this to your children? Because आप ना उनका हित सोच रहे हो. because they might not know, but as a grown up you know that वैसे करने से उनकी तबीयत बिगड़ जाएगी, टॉन्सिलाइटिस आ सकता है, जुकाम हो सकता है, लैक्टो इंटॉलरेंस है तो फिर एलर्जीज हो सकते हैं, XYZ कुछ भी हो सकता है. Whatever, anything in moderation is good. Too much of anything is good for nothing. This is what we follow as parents. I am a parent myself.
Yes.
And I was a child myself. हाँ, तो मुझे पता है मैंने क्या किया और मेरे बच्चों के साथ क्या करना चाहिए वो भी मुझे पता, because I know what I have done in my childhood.
Yes.
So
Yes.
my out of experience and out of as a teacher as well as a parent, मुझे क्या लगता है कि speak their language. Speak their
Okay.
language. Okay. तो what you can do is बच्चे अगर आपने ये किया ना तो आपको ये मिलेगा, आपको ये टॉय मिलेगा, बट बिफोर यू गेट दैट रिवॉर्ड आपको ये करना चाहिए. सेम थिंग वी डू विथ होमवर्क ऑल्सो समटाइम्स. अच्छा जल्दी फटाफट 2 घंटे होमवर्क खत्म कर लो, हम खेलने जाएंगे गार्डन या हम मूवी जाएंगे या वॉट एवर. तो वी हैव दिस रिवॉर्ड सिस्टम एंड दैट रिवॉर्ड सिस्टम रादर देन लाइक अ बार्टर ट्रेड, रिवॉर्ड सिस्टम को ना पॉजिटिवली हम उसको इतना अच्छा, दैट इज अ कला, दैट इज एन आर्ट अगेन. तो उसको ना इट इज इनफैक्ट एक कला का नाम है, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग दैट. वो बच्चों के टॉयज को कैसे बनाते हैं, इट्स 64 आर्ट्स में है वो बच्चों का. तो यू कैन एक्चुअली कोरिलेट दैट इनटू, अच्छा बच्चों का दिल जीतना है तो मैं क्या करूं. ठीक है, स्पीक देयर लैंग्वेज, इंट्रोड्यूस रिवॉर्ड सिस्टम. और अनदर थिंग, यू मे बी लाइकिंग भरतनाट्यम, दे मे बी लाइकिंग सिंगिंग. तो पहले आपको ना आइडेंटिफाई करना चाहिए इन व्हाट दे आर इंटरेस्टेड, क्योंकि they will excel when they do something of their own interest.
Yes.
But at the age of 6 and 8, they are not the decision makers. उनके हाथ में वो डिसीजन मेकिंग का जो ह्यूज शोल्डर्स पे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं रखना चाहिए. We have to take some decisions, at least about arts and skills. Somewhere we can take at that age. बाद में उनको छोड़ देते हैं कि चलो आपको हिंदुस्तानी म्यूजिक में जाना है या इसमें जाना है, वायलिन बजानी है, वीणा बजानी है, सितार बजानी है. We can leave the decision, later decisions. But introduction part तो हमको कहीं ना कहीं we will have to introduce, and हमको effort लेना पड़ता है. It is not easily done. It is not easily done. हमको effort लेना पड़ता है. You know your children. You find out your own means and ways to, you know, get that ball rolling.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, could I ask a question? I'm not a could I ask?
Vandana ji, please mute yourself.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a dance person. Like I'm not, but in a modern context, in the ancient form, dance was something which was practiced, you know, by male persons also. But in today's context, somewhere dance is considered more of effeminate. I am saying that dance, the traditional dance, not the, you know, the Western dance is something boys take up, but not in a usual way. It's not taken up by the boys. And like say for singing or maybe fine arts, maybe boys are into it, but still somewhere I don't know whether I am correct in my you know observation. So ma'am, could you say something about this?
I should say probably I cannot much agree with you, because there are boys, of course not as many as girls, because dance is seen more as a feminine, you know, absorption. जब आप लोगे तो ज़्यादा male oriented, but there are a lot of male artists. हमारे गुरु सी, you know, there are मतलब मैं gender bias normally होती नहीं हूँ, because if you take Kathak, Birju Maharaj, yeah, or you know, Gopi ji, or several others. Even in Bharatanatyam, Kuchipudi was entirely once upon a time, Kuchipudi was entirely male dominated. There was no female का कोई involvement ही नहीं था. That I should say only last few decades ही हो रहा है वो. Okay, so I probably cannot entirely agree with you. And again, as I said, dance is our topic today, but arts, it's an umbrella. That the topic should be umbrella as well. कि अगर dance सीखना नहीं होता है तो फिर another art is what it should be. But yeah,
That's
what I will do is just give me a minute.
Thank you, ma'am.
just give me a minute because I want to show this to you. I don't want you to miss out on this.
Excuse me, ma'am, Ragasudha ma'am. I think we have gone beyond time and the participants have started feeling like they have some other engagements. So maybe we can have another session sometime in the future where we can have rest of these questions also answered and more information which you feel should go to the educators. But for today, I think it's time for us to just conclude, because it should not happen that the tremendous amount of information, wonderful information that you have shared is also lost because of a lot of interaction. I hope you get my point.
No, no worries. This is not about that. We just wanted to show 4 or 5 photographs of how differently we were using dance into bringing, as I said, cultural context, social context. But it's okay if you don't want me to do that. It's okay.
No, we can share it later. We don't want
that's okay. I prepared it because Amitji wanted me to show, so it's okay.
I don't want other participants out. We can share it with all of them. And basically our time for talk is up to 4, but I'm thankful that others have really enjoyed it and have stayed till now, because you were doing it in such a marvelous way, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The questions also very beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity and hope to see you again sometime soon.
Ma'am, we still minutes where I would like some participants, like I know the director of Kerala Public School from Jamshedpur, Miss Lakshmi Nair, who is also a trained professional Bharatanatyam dancer. I would like her to share her thoughts about integration of these art forms in school education, and also if she has something to share about the experience about today's talk. Lakshmi ji.
Thank you so much, Jaya, for this honor. But I think I'm too small to talk anything in front of Ragasudha ma'am. The kind of knowledge she has shared today, let us not dilute it by adding anything, because I think we have been enriched by so many things today through her, that I think we shouldn't dilute it today. Thank you so much,
ma'am. So it's a dilution. I mean, it's addition rather than dilution.
No, not at all. But then, yes, dance brings a lot of joy in classrooms. If a teacher has got a little bit of art in her, it reflects in every action which she does, and she can actually connect more to the children, because just going with the syllabus, the little bit of art actually brings a lot of joy in the class. And you will be able to see how the teacher loops many expressions and examples through art in her class. So I think even a maths teacher, dance is all about maths. So I think I strongly believe that dancers are good in maths. They can do very well in maths. So children who are actually not so good at maths, if they are introduced a little bit of dance, they will start understanding symmetry and remembering. Because see, all the Natvangam, everything it's all maths. It's patterns. So, you can actually teach children through art. Especially maths. I think the slow learners, as we call them, if we introduce them to a little bit of music, little bit of dance, automatically they will start showing interest in maths.
Correct. I agree very well. Especially Panchanadai. If you take 7, 3 plus 4, so takkita plus takka dhimmi, 4, 3 plus 4, 7. And that becomes a Panchanadai. So I mean, definitely there are various means and ways. And as I said, as teachers especially, we can have our own thought and creativity in how to bring that to the table for our own learners, for our own children.
Yes, and even those children who have a lot of inhibitions, if we bring them into a dance class and just allow them to, just play a music and allow them just to move, whatever moves they want to do. Slowly, we will see that the child is starting to show confidence. That they will also say, I think, okay, this is how I can do things. I can also do few moves. And it helps you to improve your confidence.
Have this activity every
modern context. am I over speaking? So in a more modern context, we have dance and movement therapy,
Yes.
which can be used for autistic children, children with Down's baby syndrome. And I mean, there are wonderful results because they start responding to, music and the dance moves. So
Yes.
that's why we call it dance and movement therapy, which of course we couldn't touch today, but hopefully some other time.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you.
We have this session every
Thank you,
month.
Jaya.
Marvelous.
Thank you for this
Where
opportunity.
children dance and there's a lot of fun. So I think we'd have this in some time. So ma'am, I request you to propose the vote of thanks.
So Ragasudha ji, thank you on behalf of the entire fraternity of educators from India. It was a great privilege. In fact, I feel this should not be the end of our association. We would like to have some other session, some other time, because there is a lot to learn from you. And I'm looking forward to learning from you. And I can see that people have stayed for so long as they were engrossed. It is possible only when we have a passion like you, where a passionate speaker shares her deep knowledge. Ma'am, it has been an honor for us to have you here. I thank you on behalf of the entire family of Ramratna International School and all the participants. Wish you all the very best in your career and in your life. Keep spreading the light of knowledge. Thank you for being our guru today. We look forward to your guidance in the future. We would also adopt the ideas that you have told us to integrate these various art forms in our school curriculum. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jayaji. And